Okay, welcome back to part 3 of chapter 6, The American Revolution. Small groups of patriots captured British supplies. They made surprise attacks. One fighter known for his surprise attacks was Francis Marion of South Carolina. His nickname was the Swamp Fox. He got his name because the British could never catch him. So, now we're going to look at the map on page 41. And which colonies were the battles of Saratoga, Trenton, and Charleston fought? If you look back on this map, you have the Battle of Saratoga, that was fought in New York. Trenton, the Battle of Trenton was fought in New Jersey, and Charleston was fought in South Carolina. Another kind of fight for freedom. The Declaration of Independence is about the rights and freedoms that all people should have. But not everyone was equal. Women did not have the same rights as white men, and most African Americans were slaves. During the American Revolution, some slaves were promised freedom if they would fight against the British. Rhode Island even passed a law that said every slave who would fight for the Patriots would be free. Rhode Island formed a Patriot Regiment, or team of soldiers, made up of mostly African Americans. So here's another word, regiment, and it means a team of soldiers. In Newport, Rhode Island, the Rhode Island Regiment fought against a regiment of well-trained Germans. The Germans yelled at the African American soldiers and ran at them pointing sharp bayonets. A bayonet is a piece of pointed metal placed on the end of a rifle. A soldier could stab and kill someone with a bayonet. So, next word is bayonet, and it's a piece of pointed metal placed at the end of a rifle. The African Americans in the Rhode Island Regiment fought bravely. Even though the African Americans had no uniforms or bayonets, they killed many of the German soldiers. The Patriots won the Battle of Newport. The day after the battle, the leader of the German soldiers asked to be moved to another regiment. He said his own men might shoot him if he led them into another battle. They blamed him for losing so many men at Newport. Many other African Americans fought for freedom during the American Revolution. After the Revolution, many slave owners in the North began to free their slaves. But in the South, African Americans were still slaves. It would be almost 100 years before they would be free. The last battle, Yorktown. British General Cornwallis marched his army toward Yorktown on the coast of Virginia. French soldiers had joined Washington's army. The Americans and the French set out after the British. At Yorktown, the British were trapped. The French Navy blocked Cornwallis from the sea. American and French forces kept Cornwallis from escaping on land. Cornwallis knew he had lost. He surrendered on October 19, 1781. The American Revolution was over. The 13 colonies had finally won their independence from Great Britain. In 1783, Great Britain and the new United States signed a peace treaty. So if we look at the map below, after 1783, what nation owned most of the land east of the Mississippi River? So here's the Mississippi River. If we go east, we look down here on the chart, or the key, so it's the United States after the Revolution owned all this. So that is the end of chapter 6.